guys, my name is Lisa Grace and this is Nailchemy's YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Okay, so I've already got the tips on and I've blended them. I've done all the cuticle work. So because we're going to be applying foil to the tips, I need to be buffing these tips just so it's going to help the foil gel adhere a little bit better. So just run over those tips with your buffer. Fabulous, and make sure you give that a good dust off. Right, so I'm coming in with the nail prep just on the natural nail. So get that on all of them. And then we need to use our bonder. Again, just on the natural nail. Nice and sparingly with this. There we go. Nope. Not yet. Right, so I've got the foil gel here and we're just going to be applying this onto the tips, but I'm going to do one at a time just because if I do all of them I tend to get the foil stuck on all of them and it just gets a bit messy. So one at a time. We'll start off with the pinky. Let's zoom in a little bit for this. So just on the tip, not on the natural nail. Make sure you get right down those sides. Nice good coverage but not too thick. When you're happy with your coverage, that can go into the lamp for a full 30 seconds. If you could pop that in for me, please, Katie. So I'm using the marble foils for this, and Katie has picked this one. I've been eyeing this one up for months, so I'm glad somebody's finally picked it. Okay, so you need to make sure that you've got a good firm grip of the nail. Now, obviously, because we are only applying this onto the tip, we do need to apply a bit of pressure when we're putting the foil on, but you've got to be careful because there's no strength on this tip. So I'm going to be using one of the silicone tools just to assist me. So you need to pick which section you're going to be using, and I'm going to go for somewhere around here, I think. So nice firm hold of the nail. I'm going to kind of get that in place and then try and wrap that round like so. It's a little bit tricky, and then with the silicone tool I'm going to give that a nice, and like I say, it needs to be a firm press so that it actually sticks but not too firm so that you're bending the tip. So it's a happy medium. I don't want to be bending that tip because otherwise you'll compromise the nail. So make sure you're coming right down to the end of that nail. And you will be able to see, can you see how it's coming away there? You can see that it's stuck. There's a little bit missing at the bottom, so just keep going over and giving a good rub. And then when you think you're happy, give it another good rub, because there's always one bit that's going to be missing. And then when you think you're happy again, we can carefully remove that, and there we go. So I'm going to repeat that now on the rest of the nails. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've got the foils now on the tips. Don't worry about any little imperfections like this that are along the top. Obviously, we need to make sure that the tip has got nice coverage. But along this top here, we're going to be covering this with acrylic. So don't stress about that. But so long as you're happy with the tip section, it's all good. Okay, so I've got my dappen dish and I'm using the... which one's that? The Professional Speed liquid. So I'm just going to fill my dappen dish up. Of course, I am using the A8 brush, and for these I'm going to be using the Blossom powder. I don't use this one that much, but I really should because it's such a lovely colour. oh no, first things first. Right, because we've popped the foils on, what I don't want to do, I don't want the foils getting messed up or dissolving with the monomers. So we're going to protect that. So I'm going to be using the No Wipe Top Coat, also known as the Non-Wipe Top Coat. And I'm just going to be top coating that foil. So careful not to get it on the natural nail, because obviously we want the acrylic on the natural nail. But we want to protect this foil, so just a bit of top coat and just run your brush along the end as well, and it will just seal all that foil in. And then that can go into the lamp for a full cure. Thank you, Katie. Right, so starting on the pinky. So make sure you pick up, so I'm just going to start with a smallish bead initially. I'm going to drain it because I don't want it too wishy-washy, because we need to cover up that line of foil. So I'm just going to place that on, make sure it doesn't drip down side walls. So keep the nail tilted down. And then I'm just going to blend that down and swipe off any excess. And obviously the more you blend it, the more that foil is going to show through. But make sure when you are blending, make sure you keep your brush at a nice flat angle. Otherwise you'll just drag product away. Get off. It doesn't want to go, does it? There we go. And another little bit around the cuticle, that's too much. So especially with your cuticle bead, keep your nail tilted right down, and that's going to avoid flooding the cuticle. So you can do this in one bead. Sometimes I do, I normally do on the pinky actually. But if you do it in two beads, sometimes it can give you a little bit more control on how the fade is going to look. Right, so we'll come back to that one in a minute. So I'll just do another one for you, and then I'll skip ahead and do the rest. So again, just a bit of acrylic, a little bit of an extra drain, and pop that over the top of the foil so that we can focus on fading that foil. Voice is going. Some would say because I talk too much.
I was going to say.
So don't worry too much at this point about making sure that you've got enough acrylic on the end, because we are going to be coming back in with the clear powder. We're just looking for a nice blend. And then a little bit in the cuticle. So I do pop my apex in with this bead as well. My voice is really going. So I am popping my apex in because the only bit I need to really cap with the clear acrylic is the faded section. But if you do struggle popping your apex in at this point, there's no reason why you can't do that with the clear acrylic afterwards. Right, so I'm going to skip ahead and go and do the rest of the nails. Okay, so we've got all the nude on now. Usually at this point I would get fresh monomer for capping. However, we've only just popped the monomer in to do these nails. Zoom out a little bit. If you'd been using coloured acrylic, I would definitely recommend getting fresh monomer at this point. But I've got my massive giant tub of clear acrylic. And we're going to cap this design. So like I said, if you haven't got your apex in, you can pop that in now, but the main point of using your clear acrylic at this stage is just to protect the design from our filing. Otherwise we'll file that lovely fade off and potentially some of that foil as well. So make sure you get enough on there to pop your apex in and bring down and get enough thickness on the end as well, because there's only that little bit of foil and a bit of top coat on there. So bring that down, any excess will come over the end, and then you can just break that away. Same again on the next nail. So I'm not going all the way up to the cuticle on this one, just because I've got a nice decent apex there already. So I'll just come past the apex, start bringing that down. Nice feather light strokes. And take your excess off the end. Get off. It clearly wants to be a part of that nail, so we'll pat it in. Okay, so we are all ready to get these filed up now. I can't find my Nailchemy file anywhere, so don't shoot me. I am just using a generic brand one. So I'm using the 180 grit, just because it doesn't need a lot of filing, just needs a bit of refining. So there is a video on my filing routine if you want to go and watch it, but I'll just do this one nail and then I'll skip ahead and get the rest of them done. So obviously always a little bit cautious when you're filing, because there is just a thin layer of the clear protecting this design, and we need to make sure that we're not filing through that thin layer. Make sure you don't file your apex off as well. And then because we have done an acrylic design, you can either buff the tip or swipe over with your acetone, and it is only the tip that needs doing, just that we get it really nice and clear, ready for when we top coat. So I'm using a coarse buffer and then going over with the other side just as a soft buffer. Okay, so that's how we're looking. I'm going to go ahead and do the other nails. Okay, so we are all filed and buffed and ready to go with the top coat. So make sure you're getting rid of all of that nail dust from the top and the bottom of the hand. Really, really good fluff. Get it off your own hands as well. Okay, so back in with the non-wipe top coat. And we're just going to give these all a nice good coat. We were unsure whether to do matte or shiny, weren't we?
Yeah, it was.
But we've opted for the glossy finish.
Just make it pop out.
Yeah. I always like the idea of matte nails.
Yeah.
I never have matte nails though. I don't like the texture on my own nails.
What, of the matte?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
It's
I
like
quite
velvety,
it
isn't it?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
No, I prefer like a... I don't know, it sounds really weird, but I just sit there rubbing my nails.
No, I know it. Like, it's really smooth.
Oh, I do like these. Good choice, Katie. Do you ever get called Katie?
Yeah.
That'd
Or
stress me
someone
out.
will just like look at my name and that they'll look at me, or like look around and I'm like, it's Katie. This is not.
Okay, and I'm going to be applying the Bubblegum Elixir Cuticle Oil to these.
Just about to say it smells well.
Thank you, Katie. They all smell gorgeous. My favourite one's the banana one.
Oh.
Smells like those banana and shrimp sweets.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes me happy. So make sure you give that a nice good rub in underneath the nail as well. I always put too much on though. Slippery fingers. And there we go. Put the other hand as well. Bit of fluff. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Don't forget to give us a little thumbs up, hit like on that video, drop any comments that you've got down in the comment section below, and more importantly, make sure you hit subscribe so that you get a notification for all of our future videos. All of the products that I've used today you can find on our website, which is nailchemy.co.uk, and I will see you in the next video.